sure to check out Agelessgeeks for your figures and collectibles. So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Collectibles Batman vs. TMNT Batgirl and Donatello 2-pack. So let's get into it right away and take a quick look at the box. So we do get the basic style box that we've been getting for the DC Collectibles Batman vs. TMNT line. So we do get the window right there on the front of the box. On the top does say only at GameStop. 23 pieces. DC Collectibles on the side right there on the bottom says Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batgirl, and Donatello action figurine 2-pack. Just says figure, not figurine. I think figurine is a funny sounding word for figures. Then the bottom of the box here, we do get the barcode and Blood Plus. So nobody cares about. Then here's the top of the box. Then on one side we do get like a cartoony image of a turtle shell and then who's sculpted the figures there. Then the back here, it does show the other figures in the series along with the figure 2-pack that you have right now. And there's a little bio right there, so if you'd like to read that, you can pause it right now and give it a read. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this 2-pack open to take a closer look at both these figures that I'm hoping are much better than both these sets here, especially this one because that Robin was one of the worst figures that I have ever gotten. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and we'll take a look at Batgirl first. And one thing about these figures, they do tend to fall apart easily. As I was taking her out of the packaging, a picture should pop up of what happened when I was trying to get her out of the box. She just completely came apart. I mean, really not that big of a deal because you could just snap everything back together, but also not the best thing, you know what I mean? So that sculpt here looks alright. The paint is pretty fuzzy in a lot of spots, especially around the mask and around the eyes there. Not really the best paint work, even have some of the purplish color bleeding onto her face right there. Even back here is painted pretty bad. Same with back there behind her ears. So not the best paint work. The paint on the mouth seems to be pretty good though. Even on the neck, some of the paint is missing there or bleeding. Even on this side as well. So pretty sloppy paintwork, but the sculpt I think looks pretty good. It looks like how Batgirl did in the anime. The sculpt of the hair looks pretty cool too. Looks alright, just some sloppy paintwork. Now the torso here, the bat symbol is just painted on, which looks fine. It's nice and centered, and I like the black paint and these sculpted lines. Some of it's not perfect, like they missed a decent amount right there, and then a little too much over there. That little button though looks pretty cool, and the black paint around it looks pretty good. And then for her cape, we got like some buttons painted on there. And I'm not a fan of the cape. I hate just plastic capes in general, man. I don't know why they didn't give Robin and her cloth capes like what they did with Batman. I do not understand why they didn't. And it does have some nice sculpted wrinkles to it though. And then they did give her like the cartoony lines around her elbows right there. And the arms look fine. And the gloves, another issue with this figure in particular, this piece of the glove came unglued. And a few parts, or a couple parts on her and Donatello did come unglued, so I do have to glue them back on. So just be cautious of that, like when you swap hands, don't grab onto this piece, grab onto her arm. And also when I grabbed onto her arm, her joint disconnected right there, so I had to reconnect it as well. So be careful swapping hands on Batgirl here. And the lower torso, we get more of those lines there, which look pretty good on the lower half. We do have this this belt piece that is going around her waist and her right thigh, and this piece looks pretty cool with the pouch on there. I think that looks dope. It is a separate piece though, as you can see there. And another thing with these figures in general, you will run into either paint rub or plastic rub from Articulation, so you do need to be cautious of that as well. And then the lower legs here, we get the two-tone colors. I guess it's a darker purple and a lighter purple there. And the line that separates them, it looks like they missed a little bit up here where the line separates it. On this side, it's pretty good. This side, not as good though. And the back, where the line separates the two colors, looks pretty good on this leg. And this one too. And then the lower legs here, the boots, you could tell where it's on her leg that it's a different color, like beige, compared to her foot right there. This side's good. It's like they needed to add another layer of paint on this one, like how they did on this one. The laces look good and everything. These lines are painted alright, really not the best though. And then these soles seem to be painted pretty good. Some paint is missing there. Same with on this side, unless that was for me posing it. I mean, the bottom, we do get a little bit of sculpt work though. So overall, I think Batgirl turned out alright. Definitely not one of my favorites in the line. The Bat Family figures have pretty much been miss so far, but the Turtles I think turned out a lot better compared to them. So let's take a look at Donatello. Alright, so now for Donatello here, just like with Leonardo and Raphael, they did a pretty good job with the Turtles. Like I said, they turned out much better than the Bat Family figures, and a piece that did come unglued on me is the bandana tie right here, so I'm going to have to glue that back on because it keeps popping off. It looks like they didn't even glue it actually. It just seems like it's pegged in right there because I don't see any like dried up glue or anything around it. But the head sculpt, not a fan of the facial expression, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how he looked in the movie there. The bandana piece came off again. But I mean, the paint's pretty good on Donnie here. The right eye, the paintwork's a bit fuzzy, a little bit on the left eye as well. But other than that, everything else turned out pretty good on the head sculpt. The torso here, we do get his harness, which is pretty much glued on most parts of Donnie there. For the buckle, I like how we get the D, but the paint is a little sloppy over here. You can see a little bit of a brown bleeding onto the gray. The buckle up here, the paint's pretty clean though, and then we get like a pouch over here and a couple, I guess, other pouch thingamajigers. Then the back here, we get the continuation of his harness, and you can get the you got the holster here for his bow staff, which I'll show you how that works shortly. And I love the way the turtle shells look on these turtle figures. I think they do a very nice job with them. And then the front or the bottom part of the shell looks fine. It does look like a cartoon drawing, which it should, like how they added these black lines around the shoulders and around the wrists as well. And like I said with the other turtles, I'm not a fan of how they did the elbow pads on these figures. I really dislike the way those look. And the paint is a bit fuzzy where the gray meets the green right there, and a bit sloppy. Even over here as well, you can even see some bleeding as well. Now for the legs here, we get more of those lines are sculpted and painted, as you can see there. And the paint's alright on the legs right there with the black lines. You do see the paint rub though from Articulation, so that is an issue there. And when I took him out of the packaging, his torso joint completely came apart, so I did have to reconnect it. The knee pads look pretty good though. And the lower legs here, we get the huge ankles and calves. And then we do get his turtle feet, which turned out fine as well with the turtle toes and the bottom of them. We just get a little bit of sculpt work and some blah 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 stuff that we usually get on figures, and that's the best part, to put it on the bottom of their feet. But overall, I really have not been too happy with this line at all. I was very excited when they first announced these figures, and when I got the first two sets, I was pretty let down, and this set really isn't any better or any worse than the other two sets. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we get a bunch of really cool stuff included with Batgirl and Donnie, and the accessories has definitely been the best part to all of these figures so far. So for Batgirl, we do get a cell phone, we do get 2 vials of antidote. One is a syringe and then one is like a vial. Then we do get a batarang, we do get a piece of pizza, we do get a grapple hook, and then we do get 2 different grapples, an open one and a collapsed one. So we do get our cell phone here, which looks pretty good. It does resemble an iPhone. We do get the bat symbol on the back right there, so we do get that. And we do get the syringe and the vial of the antidote there. And they look pretty good, very cartoony looking. And then we do get her batarang here, which I believe is the same style batarangs we have been getting with Robin and Batman. And we do get a slice of pizza there, pepperoni pizza, which looks pretty good. Maybe I should try it and see if it tastes like pepperoni pizza. And then we do get a grapple gun here, and I don't like their grapple guns. Grapple gun looks pretty good though. And then we do get the 2 different grapple hooks. We have the collapsed one on the bottom and then the open one on the top there. And all I do is just peg that right in to the grapple gun like that, or if it goes like that, whichever way it goes. I think it goes like that. She could grip onto her accessories pretty well because her fingers are more of a softer rubbery type plastic Donatello, though, is a different story, and then she is also included with 6 alternate hands. And starting on the top here, we do get a pair of fists, of course, which do come on the figure out of the packaging. Then we do get 2 pairs of gripping hands. So we do have the middle ones here where the hands have more of a narrow grip, and then we do have the ones on the bottom here that have a much more wider grip. And these ones are mainly meant for her grapple gun, and you could also use these for the cell phone as well. You could use this one for the vial and syringe and the pizza and the batarang. And her hands are pretty simple to swap out as well. So that is everything included with Batgirl. Now let's take a look at what's included with Donatello. And Donatello is included with an interchangeable head. We do get his bow staff, a piece of pizza, his turtle phone, and then we do get a TCRI canister and some interchangeable hands as well. So the canister here, the ooze canister or TCRI canister, looks pretty good. You cannot get him to grip onto it because his hands are made of such a hard type of plastic. It's very difficult to get him to grip onto it. As you can see, I tried. You'd see the green paint rub on there. I mean, maybe if you heat it up with hot water, the hands, you can loosen up the grip and have him grip onto it. So we do get that, and we do get his turtle cell phone here, which is probably my favorite accessory with Donnie. This thing looks pretty damn cool. It can open and close. As you can see, it's on a hinge, so I do like that. You can't have him store it anywhere, and it is a bit difficult to get him to grip on to this as well. So we do get that, and we do get the piece of pizza here. Pretty much same pizza slices we have been getting. And we do get his bow staff here. And you can see all the green paint rub all over the wrappings right there, because the wrappings look pretty good. And it does look like a wood bow staff. It does disconnect right there, so you could slide it through the holster and have them grip onto it as well, because it does get a little thicker at the end, so it's going to be a bit difficult to get them to grip onto it. So I'm really glad that they did that, so it's easier to have them grip onto the bow staff. And I'll show you how to holster that shortly. And then we do get the interchangeable head where he has like the hard hat baseball helmet on, and then a target mechanism thing on his eye right there. And he does have an angry teeth gritted face, but there is no tie from his bandana, similar to the Raphael figure. But I do like this facial expression a lot more compared to this one here, and it is very easy to swap the heads. I'll show you how to do that along with storing his bow staff right now quickly. Alright, so the way you holster his bow staff is very simple. Just disconnect it right there, slide it through the bow staff holster, and then just peg it back in, and then there you go. As simple as that. Now swapping the heads, all you have to do is pull up to pop this head off, but I've been having an issue with mine. I was only able to swap it once, so when I try to pull the head off, the entire joint comes off with the head. So if I do want to swap the heads, I'm gonna have to use some pliers to get that out. But the first time I did it, it did not do that. Ever since, it's been doing that, so I can't properly swap the head sculpts now with Donatello. But I mean, this one here is pretty cool, and it is easy to do it. Just if you have the issue like me, you're going to have that issue there. So we do get that stuff, and then we finally get 6 alternate hands. And starting on the top here, we do get a pair of fists, of course, which do come on the figure out of the packaging. Then we do get a pair of gripping hands and a pair of karate chippity chop chop hands, and these are the same exact hands that we got with Leonardo. And the gripping hands here, as I mentioned, are such a harder plastic. It's very difficult to get him to grip onto his accessories, mainly the canister and his phone. The pizza and the bow staff aren't as difficult, but you're still going to have to use a bit of force to get him to grip on to his accessories, and you will get paint rub on these, so just keep that in mind. And his hands are fairly simple to swap out as well. But anyway, that is all the accessories included with Batgirl and Donatello. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? Now for the height of Donnie and Batgirl. So for the height of Donnie here, it looks like he's a little bit under 6 inches tall, and then for the height of Batgirl, it looks like she's about 5 inches and 3/4 of an inch tall. And then here they are compared to the DC Collectibles Batman vs. TMNT Batman, Robin, Leonardo, and Raphael. And I think the scaling was done extremely well on all these figures by DC Collectibles. And then here they are compared to the SH Figuarts Endgame Captain America, the Mephex comic version Deadpool, the NECA original movie TMNT Donatello, and the Mezco 112 Silver Knight Batman. And then here they they are compared to the Storm Collectibles Cyborg, Smoke, the SH Figure Arts, Sage Mode, Naruto, the Mephix, Justice League, Batman, and the Figma Black Swordsman Guts. And then here they are compared to the SH Figure Arts, Awakened Warrior, Super Saint Goku, and the Mezco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, and we'll take a look at Batgirl's first, and this is where these figures really fail, man. Their articulation is horrendous, and it just makes it not fun to post these figures around, and you also have to be careful of paint rub and plastic rub from articulation. So Batgirl just has one joint at the neck here, and it only goes forward and back that much, which sucks a lot. Her hair really doesn't even hinder it, because I don't think you can get her to look any further up than that anyway, so it's really not hindering her articulation. Pretty much non-existent pivot, and then it does swivel, which does get hindered by her hair. Then we do get a torso joint here, which is like a barbell type joint, so you can kind of shift the torso forward and back and side to side, but she only crunches forward that much, goes back about that much. You do see a gap right there though. You do get a little bit of pivot there, and then it does swivel as well. Now for the arms here, you do go out to the side 90 degrees, which is decent. They do go up and down. No true bicep swivel, so you will have to use it at the shoulder joint, or you can use it at the single jointed elbow. That does bend in a little more than 90 degrees, so that's definitely good, and it does swivel there as well. And then the wrists are on a ball hinge, so they do swivel and hinge back and forth. Now for the legs here, Batgirl can kick forward about 90 degrees, goes to the back just a tiny bit. Let's see if she can. Jean-Claude Van Damme it, and I doubt she can. And she actually almost can, actually. If you keep forcing it, you can almost get her to Van Damme it, so that's definitely pretty good. But you do see some of the paint rubbing off there, so you might not want to force it too much. And we do get the hip swivel. We do have double jointed knees that do bend back all the way, so nice knee joints there. Then the ankles, this is what I don't like. There is no swivel there at all. Then with the pivot, you get that really weird looking ankle joint when you use the pivot. So when you pivot it in, the more you do it, the more to the front of her leg the bottom of her foot goes, which is completely unnatural and looks just so stupid, man. I hate when figure companies use this type of ankle pivot. See what I mean? You can't even swivel it or anything, but they do hinge down a lot better compared to hinging up. Like I said, that ankle pivot's just really bad. I don't like that type of ankle pivot, but she does have a nice ankle pivot. It's just that really weird, wacky type of pivot there. So Batgirl's articulation really is not good at all. Now for Donatello's articulation, I believe his might be a little worse. So for the neck here, or the head joint, he only looks up and down that much, which is horrible. No pivot at all. And then it does swivel. We do have a torso joint, but like I said, with Raph and Leo, it's really hard to work in torso joints with a Ninja Turtle figure. You know what I mean? They at least tried, but you really can't get too much movement out of it, as you can see right there. Then for the arms here, Donnie's arms do go out to the sides a little more than 90 degrees. They do go up and down. No true bicep swivel, so you will have to use it at the shoulder or at the single jointed elbow. That doesn't even bend in 90 degrees. That is horrible. Come on, man. What kind of crap is that? But then we do get the swivel at the elbow, and then we do have a ball hinge on the wrist, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. Now for the legs here, horrible loose leg joints. That's pathetically horrible. Come on, man. What the hell is up with that? All the turtles have this stupid issue. Jeez, man. I think Robin has the worst of it, though. But Donnie kicks forward just shy of 90 degrees. You can get it to go out more, but his leg is going to go outward, as you can see right there. And you probably will cause paint rub by doing that. So you can pretty much get it to go 90 degrees. Goes to the back just a tiny bit. Let's see if he can Jean-Claude Van Damme it, and holy crappy-oly, he can, because he is a Ninja Turtle. Then we do get a little bit of a hip swivel. We do have the double jointed knees that do bend back almost all the way, and then the ankles here, once again, no swivel at the ankles, but They hinge up not much at all. They do hinge down very well, and then we do get a nice ankle pivot, but the more you use it, with their ankles and lower legs being so thick, it doesn't go where the bottom of the foot is in front of the leg, so that is pretty good for the ankle pivot there. But overall, these figures really do suffer from horrible articulation, and they're pretty much going to be more like statues, and you can't and you won't have fun articulating them. I really don't like posing these figures around because they're not too much fun to pose around, but I'm going to show you what type of poses you can get them into right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the DC Collectibles Batman vs. TMNT, Batgirl, and Donatello. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this set with detail, I'd give it an even 7. Articulation, I'd give it a 5.5. Accessories, I'd give it an even 8. And then the overall quality, I would give a 6.5. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this set, you do have to get it from GameStop.com because it is only exclusive to GameStop.com. But you can get your other figures and collectibles from Agelessgeeks.com. If you can't find something on the website, I do highly recommend going through their Instagram or Facebook page. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. And if you liked it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, oh well, I guess you didn't like it. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. Let's get this 2-pack open to take a close look at Donatello and Batgirl and hope that they are much better, but for the height of Donnie, it looks like he's a little bit under 6 inches. And I think the scaling was done really well by we do get his bow staff, a piece of pizza. We do get his turtle. When I just pre-ordered one, there goes my extremely loud refrigerator when it turns off. Jesus Christmas. Oh yeah, and also wanted to mention that I do hate GameStop now because I pre-ordered one set of Donatello and Batgirl, and GameStop for some reason decided to charge me for 2 and ship me 2, and I messaged them, emailed them actually, twice, and no responses still. It's like, come on man, what the hell is that all about? So I'm gonna have to return one of the sets because I definitely do not want 2 sets of any of these figures here.